Commissioner Beal, so the question that I have for you that I get a lot in my locality is, what is the biggest threat to the upcoming general election?
It would be the operational performance of the United States Postal Service.
I've gone ahead and pulled this full video up on my YouTube channel, which is linked here, so that you can check out all of the commissioner's remarks here. But the important takeaway is the fact that the Postal Service is creating a bungle of our election process, purely because of how mismanaged it has become under the changes made by Postmaster Louis DeJoy. Issues with mail ballot delivery and return have been observed since the 2023 state election. There are concerns about potential reductions in rural areas, which could further delay ballot processing. Ballot processing is a key part of our democracy and our elections' integrity, and the fact that the Postal Service is standing in the way of that because of changes made under Postmaster Louis DeJoy is abominable. How does this empower voters? How does this engage people with the democratic process? I'll take a second here to talk about actionable steps for those who have to vote by mail. For instance, those who are voting absentee. First off, request your ballot early and complete it promptly to ensure it's counted. You can check in with the registrar's office after a week or two to make sure. Alternatively, if you don't want to rely on the Postal Service, which I'll admit this has not inspired much confidence in, you can go to a ballot drop box or drop it off at a polling location on Election Day. The whole idea of democracy in America is that voters choose our leaders, not the other way around. If the election process is sabotaged by failures in the Postal Service, then that's something that we need to confront. We have to reject any attempts to silence voters or undermine the electoral process, whether through legal measures or intimidation. We should be encouraging every eligible voter to participate, whether that be through in-person elections, early voting at a polling place or voting on election day, or absentee voting. We need to make sure that that process is protected and sanctified. One way that you can do that is to stay informed about voting deadlines, requirements, and any changes to the voting process in your area. Additionally, report any irregularities or concerns to local election officials promptly. The crux of this video is to say that when election officials are telling us that there is a significant gap in our democratic process because of a national agency that should be run correctly and efficiently and with the people in mind, then we need to do something about both that agency and about providing for the people who are going to be affected by it. In the meantime, that just means staying informed, and it means talking to our elected officials about this problem. This meeting is not well publicized. Unfortunately, that's just kind of how it works with a lot of cabinet meetings and committee meetings. Even when they're live streamed, even when they put the video up on the internet, it's just not that accessible to most people. And most people are not going to seek out an hour-and-a-half long meeting just to grab a 3-minute clip about something. But as you can see in the clip, our election officials are prepared to answer this question and to honestly tell us that the biggest problem facing our election integrity is the Postal Service. That is unconscionable. So, again, make sure that you're registered to vote. Make sure that you check all of the avenues available to you and know what's going to work best. Make sure that your friends and family are registered to vote, and make sure you stay on top of any election news. That might be a tall order, but in an era in which we can't trust our Postal Service to provide for us because of the changes made by right-wing fucks who wanted to privatize and make it so that it's a profit-oriented entity instead of, a people-oriented entity, we have to do our due diligence as citizens. So, sorry this is a bit of a long one, but it's something I'm passionate about, and it's something I think is important to get down to the brass tacks about. So, let me know if you have any questions, and let your election officials know if you have any questions. In the meantime, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time.